Muhammad Yunus was received with great enthusiasm as soon as he landed in Dhaka. The country was waiting for him. After months of protest and silent coup that dethroned Sheikh Hasina, the country was burning. The civil society protesting students demanded a caretaker government with Muhammad Yunus at the helm of affairs to be formed, and the president, the army and political parties nodded in agreement. For the first time in Bangladesh's history, the caretaker government is not headed by a chief justice or the president. It's a Nobel laureate. In fact, internationally, he is the 32nd Nobel laureate to head a state or any government. Students are also a part of Yunus's caretaker government to build a Naya Bangladesh.
কথা মনে পড়ছে আমাদের জিয়া হুসাইনের ছবি বাংলাদেশের প্রতিটি
The 84-year-old Nobel laureate was emotional, as held back tears after landing in Dhaka on 8th August morning. It's been a long, winding journey for the banker of the poor. He was a celebrated pride of the country when he was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize in 2006. People queued up for a glimpse of him. Just months before the Nobel, he also received the 2006 Seoul Peace Prize. It was his year of celebration of decades of hard work to empower the poor with microcredit. Born in the village of Batua in 1940, in the pre-independence undivided Bengal presidency, he spent his core educational years in the port city of Chittagong of East Pakistan. Moving from Chittagong, Muhammad Yunus finished graduation and post-graduation in economics from Dhaka University. The bright young Yunus worked briefly for Bureau of Economics before joining Chittagong University's economics department as a faculty. After receiving a Fulbright scholarship to study in the United States in 1965, he got a PhD in economic development from Vanderbilt University in 1971. Those were turbulent days for fight for freedom in his homeland. Yunus ran a communications center for Bangladeshi awaiting news outside the country during the 1971 Mukti Joddho. He also published the Bangladesh newsletter in Nashville to raise support for the movement. After the formation of Bangladesh, he spent a year in the US teaching as an assistant professor in economics at Middle Tennessee State University. In 1972, he returned to head the economics department in Chittagong University. Witnessing the Bangladesh famine of 1974, one of the worst of the 20th century, Yunus started his work towards poverty reduction. First, he came up with the idea of setting up village governments or Gram Sarkar to improve rural economies, but the idea was soon shot down as illegal and unconstitutional. In 1976, during a visit to a village, he realized that often underprivileged people require small non-traditional loans to survive financially and grow their businesses, which led him to come up with the idea of microcredit. This system of microfinance first earned him the moniker banker to the poor. After taking loans from larger banks and redistributing them as microcredit to poor people, in 1983 he finally launched Grameen Bank or Village Bank. By July 2007, Grameen had issued $6.38 billion to 7.4 million borrowers. The success of the model inspired similar projects in 100 different countries and led to world recognition with the Nobel Peace Prize in 2006. Within 5 years, fingers of accusation started to rise against him. In 2011, Grameen Bank came under the scanner of Sheikh Hasina's government for misused funds, a charge they had been cleared from the Norwegian government. With the bank being investigated, Yunus was removed as head of the bank. He challenged the decision. Mohammed Yunus was 70 years old. The government defended the decision to remove him on grounds of being way past his retirement age. Bangladesh High Court upheld an order removing Yunus as head of the micro-lending bank he founded. His allies believed it was a move prompted by Hasina government's vendetta over his political ambitions. A year after winning the Nobel, Yunus tried to launch a political party. With his growing popularity and influence, he made Hasina insecure when she came to power in 2009. After the 2011 court verdict, 200 Grameen Bank employees and borrowers staged a peaceful protest outside the bank building. Nearly 14 years have passed since then. But Mohammed Yunus still has pending charges in a case alleging food adulteration in a Grameen Bank subsidiary and another alleging misuse of power by Yunus in acting as a creditor for private enterprises. Under Sheikh Hasina's more than 15 years of rule, Mohammed Yunus has faced a total of 174 cases filed against him. But his popularity and acceptance among people never diminished. When students took to streets in Bangladesh protesting against reservation quota in government jobs and Hasina government's mismanagement of the agitation led to violent outbursts, civil society of Bangladesh and students in particular wanted nothing to do with Hasina anymore. They unitedly appealed for Yunus to come back from Europe and take charge of national affairs. On 5th August, once Sheikh Hasina left Dhaka, students became adamant to get Yunus back.
We will not accept any other government other than the one proposed by us. We will not accept the government supported by the military or the fascists. Any proxy government or government against the people will not be accepted. We will form an interim government headed by Nobel laureate Mohammed Yunus. Dr. Mohammed Yunus has also accepted this responsibility to protect the people of Bangladesh. We want to present this proposal to the President in the morning itself to form an interim government under the leadership of Dr. Mohammed Yunus.
He also accepted the request of his agitating country in a statement issued on 7th August. He praised students' protest before boarding the flight home from France. Strife-torn Bangladesh calmed down as soon as he arrived. From loot, arson, violence of 3 days, Dhaka showed signs of limping back to peace on 8th August morning.
The example that the young generation has set of giving this country a rebirth, we are expecting that Yunus will be able to take it further to reconstruct our nation. We want a conflict-free Bangladesh where no Awami League, no BNP and no other political parties can abuse power. I want to forget the past and move on. I earnestly request the new government to put an end to bad politics in the country so the poor working class can live in peace. I want the government to respect the movement of the students against discrimination. We want to create a society without discrimination.
In his first interaction with the press, he tried to calm down the frayed, jittered, and bruised nerves of his people.
The students' movement has saved the country, given rebirth to this country. Our oath to Bangladesh that we got through this rebirth can move forward fast. We want to protect it. Bangladesh is a family. We have to unite it. We want to remove whatever dilemma there is. I want to bring those who have gone astray so that we can work together.
Yunus's interim government is not a first of its kind of experiment for Bangladesh. There have been 4 such interim or caretaker governments in Dhaka.
6th December 1990, military dictator Hussain Mohammad Ershad's government fell due to a mass uprising. An interim or temporary government was formed under then Chief Justice Shahabuddin Ahmed to conduct the 5th general election within 3 months. He was first made vice president and then served as the temporary president. After the 5th parliamentary elections in 1991, in which Begum Khalida Zia became the Prime Minister, Shahabuddin Ahmed again joined the post of Chief Justice, from which he eventually retired in the year 1995. In late March 1996, following a sustained campaign of strikes and a non-cooperation movement by her rivals, then Prime Minister Begum Khalida Zia of BNP stepped down. Election date was announced in June and Parliament was dissolved. On 3rd April, a caretaker government headed by former Chief Justice Mohammad Habibur Rahman was sworn in. Final results gave the centrist Awami League lead, but not majority. Sheikh Hasina was sworn in for the first time as the Prime Minister of a coalition government on the 23rd of June. Following the provision for caretaker government through 13th Amendment of the Constitution, the third caretaker government was formed on 15th July 2001 and the former Chief Justice, Justice Latifur Rahman, took over charge as the Chief Advisor. The caretaker government discharged its prime duty of holding the 8th parliamentary elections on the 1st of October 2001 and continued in office till 10th October 2001 when the newly elected BNP government led by Begum Khalida Zia assumed state power. 5 years later, there was a great disagreement over the formation of a caretaker government, and violence engulfed the country, including the capital city Dhaka. In such a volatile situation, the last retired Chief Justice declared his unwillingness to become the chief advisor of the next caretaker government. Subsequently, President Dr. Iyazuddin Ahmed himself took over charge. The date of the 9th parliamentary elections was fixed in January 2007, but apprehensions and doubts on holding of free and fair polls continued unabated. A dialogue on electoral reforms between the two major contending political parties, BNP and the Awami League, failed, which led to massive violence and clashes all over the country. President Iyazuddin Ahmed declared a state of emergency on the 1st of January of 2007 and the proposed elections were cancelled. He then stepped down from the post of chief advisor and another caretaker government led by Dr. Fakhruddin Ahmed was formed. The new caretaker government declared a roadmap for holding the elections by December 2008 and embarked upon a number of reform measures. Ultimately, on the 29th of December 2008, the 9th parliamentary elections were held and caretaker government of Dr. Fakhruddin Ahmed continued in office till the 3rd of January of 2009 when the Grand Alliance led by Sheikh Hasina assumed power again.
The Hasina government abolished the system of caretaker government through a constitutional amendment on June 30th, 2011. A day after Sheikh Hasina resigned and fled the country, her son reminded Bangladesh of the perils of caretaker governments.
কিছুতেই সন্তুষ্ট না, তারা খালি দাবি বাড়িয়ে যাচ্ছে।
They now want to overturn this government, but have you thought of what will happen next once this government is removed? We want to preserve the democracy of our country. The only constitutional way to pave way for new government to form is through election. Supreme Court has announced that no government can rule which has not got the electoral mandate. Even if we agree to this demand for fresh election, will that be the end of it? Despite accepting all the demands, they keep raising more. They might not accept the election results. I know the civil society is mulling over interim government concept. Let's not forget the perils of past interim governments.
Within days, the president, along with the army, announced the release of BNP leader Begum Khalida Zia. Ailing 79-year-old Begum Khalida Zia addressed to supporters from a hospital bed at a rally in Dhaka on 7th August. It was her first public speech since 2018 when she was convicted of corruption charges and jailed.
Let us strengthen the hands of the youth to build Bangladesh. Let's build a society based on love, peace and knowledge, and there should be no destruction, not revenge and vengeance.
শান্তি ও জ্ঞান ভিত্তিক সমাজ গড়ে তুলি।
Her son Tariq Rahman, the acting chairman of the BNP living in exile, called for elections to be held at the earliest.
তাই বিপ্লবের লক্ষ্য বাস্তবায়নে
So to achieve the goals of this revolution, national elections must be held as soon as possible. Power must be transferred to their representatives elected by the people as soon as possible.
জনগণের ভোটে নির্বাচিত প্রতিনিধিদের কাছে ক্ষমতা হস্তান্তর করতে হবে।
BNP supporters rejoiced and hoped for return to power as Awami League of Sheikh Hasina have fallen out of favor with the mass of Bangladesh.
জনাব তারেক রহমান আগামীর বাংলাদেশ বিনির্মাণে
Tariq Rahman will come and build a future nation and democratic Bangladesh. How to do it? He directed us about that.
শক্তিকে নিয়ে ঐক্যবদ্ধভাবে কিভাবে কাজ করা যায়।
ম্যাডাম মুক্ত হয়েছেন, এটা হচ্ছে আমাদের আজকে দিনের সবচেয়ে বড় খুশির খবর।
She talked to us on Skype today. You saw. Our chairperson also spoke to us today. He will return soon among us. We have been waiting for 17 years for him.
উনি নিশ্চয়ই খুব শীঘ্রই আমাদের মধ্যে ফিরে আসবেন।
Within hours, Awami League changed its tone, and Sheikh Hasina's son from the US now showed willingness to return to the politics of Bangladesh.
আমরা বলেছিলাম যে আমার পরিবার আর রাজনীতি করবে না।
I had said my family will no longer be involved in politics, but the way our party leaders and workers are being attacked, we cannot give up.
হাল ছেড়ে দিতে পারি না।
In days of violence, nearly 400 have died. Houses have been vandalized. Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's statue and his home were both destroyed. Mural paintings of Bangabandhu were whitewashed. The coming days are going to be severely challenged for Naya Bangladesh. Muhammad Yunus hopes to build that the students dreamt of and the country needs badly.
কর্তব্য বিশ্বস্ততার সহিত পালন করিব।